Hi, Diane here, and welcome to Talking Books and Stuff podcast with Dennis Rimmer. Today, Dennis talks with vocalist Kevin Christopher. I had the opportunity to hear him sing in Palm Springs, California. What a talent. And you can follow him on Instagram at KCSings23. Here's Dennis in conversation with Kevin Christopher.
Here we go. Welcome back. Yet another episode of Talking Books and Stuff, our podcast. We're kind of into the 300s now. With us from Southern California, where it's warmer than it is here, but not much. We're at 63 degrees Fahrenheit. Kevin Christopher is our guest today. He's a singer that lovely wife Diane encountered in Palm Springs a while back. So, Kevin, how are things today for you?
Things are going great. Things are really going great. Better than I expected. I just started singing, here a couple of years ago. I've been singing for all of my life, but I started singing just for something to do, and things are just going great. I'm getting a lot of attention on it.
That's great. So let's back up all the way back to the beginning. Where did you grow up and go to school? That kind of thing.
I grew up in Benton Harbor, Michigan. It's a small town that's right on the close to the water, Lake Michigan. And I spent a lot of my life there.
Is that in the UP?
No, it's in the lower, the lower peninsula. So it's like on the Michigan looks like a hand. It's on the left of the hand, right on Lake Michigan, down towards the bottom.
Ah, gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. Michigan, yes, and that's Detroit is across the river from Windsor, and Windsor is actually farther south than Detroit. So there you go.
Right. Detroit is like about 200 miles east of where I grew up.
Okay.
In Harbor, Michigan.
So dating back or going back to those early years, when did you learn that you could actually sing, as opposed to
Well, I got involved in music at a very early age. My parents, they're both gone now. They bought us a piano years ago. They like music, so they bought a piano in the house, and I started playing around that piano. And about that time, it was when the days of when the Beatles came out, and James Brown, and a little before that, Roy Rogers was the big thing, and Elvis, and those things. And so I watching TV of like Roy Rogers, he was singing and got all the girls. I was thinking, oh wow, I think I'll do that. So that's really where it started out when I was very, very young, playing the piano. And then when the Beatles came out, my parents bought us Beatle boots, believe it or not, and small guitars and amps. Me and my brother. And so my brother, he also played drums, but we didn't have any drums, so he used like oatmeal boxes. He would beat on oatmeal boxes and that sort of thing. And I would play guitar, and he was a guitar player. I was more of a bass guitar player, and we'd play some play just tunes that were happening that day, during that time. So when all those the stars that back in those days would come out, we would try to mimic them, and so I got started doing that very, very early.
Gotcha. Can you remember what the first song was that you learned from start to finish?
Wow. Let me see. Oh, that song, Sonny. Thank you for the love that you brought to me.
But
yeah, it was Sonny.
Bobby Hebb.
That's one of the first songs.
Bobby Hebb.
Again?
Yeah. Bobby
You're
Hebb.
right.
Well, yeah.
I've forgotten about it.
I know this stuff, man.
That's amazing. Yeah, that was probably the first song that me and my brother performed, and we did it for our parents. They were like, wow, they were amazed. So we both had voices, and we could follow along in music, and so that's probably the first song that we learned. Never thought about it. That's interesting. You said that.
How about your first public performance?
First public performance I was probably in, I would imagine, 6th or 7th grade. There was talent shows that went on in our area, and so we learned all of Michael Jackson stuff. A lot of his ABC, those sort of things. Yeah. So we learned those songs, and we performed them on stage, at the local schools, because they were having talent shows. we just won every talent show. We had a very talented keyboardist who was very, very. He was much younger than us, but he was so good that he had to stand up to play the organ because he was so short. And today he's an incredible keyboard player.
So
organist, really.
After that, did you pursue singing in your adult life as a career?
Well, right after that, we started. We were involved with some churches, in church, and the pastor was a keyboard player. And what he said he used to play keyboards for was that B.B. King. And he started us an actual band but it was all instrumental. I played bass guitar, my brother played lead, there was a bunch of horns, and we cut a 45 back in the day when we were 45. Wow. And it was played on a local radio, so it was a big deal. We recorded it, went to a recording studio, recorded, and it would start playing on our local radio. So there were kids like, dude, I heard you on the radio, your songs you guys played.
Yeah.
And we toured all over. It was Michigan, Illinois, and Indiana. And boy, we were a very popular gospel band. And and there were a couple. There was like maybe another one that was really popular at that time, and we were probably number 2 in youth bands playing at churches, playing a lot of the gospel tunes. Wow. So that's what really got me going, And so, and after, and I would, other than the church, I would sing at talent shows and that sort of thing. And so, singing just became a part of my life.
Gotcha. Now, did you have any day jobs along the way?
Oh, absolutely. I was working all the time. When I hit about, I think it's 14, I started working at a clothing store. And eventually became the manager of that store and the buyer. So yeah, I worked all the time, and I my parents divorced, when I was around 15 or 16, and I, went out, on my own. My brother had an apartment with a girlfriend, and I went out on my own. Got into some things, from age of 15, 20. I did everything young people would do, drinking a little bit and drugs and that sort of thing. I did all that sort of stuff, but I always stayed with music. And eventually at 20 years old, I got involved in the church, and that's been 50 years ago. I've always stayed with the church, and been involved in music. And I just recently started singing really secular stuff here in the last a couple years, last few years,
Right.
So, but yeah.
So where do you mainly perform? You kind of do everything? Shows like trade shows, private parties, that kind of stuff?
I do. Right now, what I'm mostly doing is restaurants, and there's a street fair that I do out in the Palm Springs. So I sing restaurants. I do parties. Any weddings or anything like that. It's not something that I'm pursuing as a career because my whole life has been business. I've been involved in business all of my life, and at a very early age, I got involved in business, an entrepreneur. And I did very little working for other people. So I've spent my life as an entrepreneur helping people build and grow companies. That's what I do professionally. I actually now own the world's leading Arabic and French interpretation firm. So I've been involved in business. So, but singing has just been something I did. And lately here, when I met my wife that I have now here, it'll be 33 years ago. She was kind of hard to get, so I had to write her some songs and sing. So I've been singing, all along. I wrote her some songs and finally got her to agree to be, my wife. So she was tough to get.
Well, you got her, and the rest is history.
I got her.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So, yeah, any like musical influences in your early life that really stand out for you?
Oh, absolutely. Michael Jackson, big Frank Sinatra, all of Motown. All of those songs I sang as a child, as a kid. Oh, I used to, in junior high, we were the band for the dance because it would be a dance every Friday night.
Yeah.
And, we had a band at that time because they were a real garage band. You hear garage band now, it's a piece of software, but, there were really, because when Motown came out, and the Beatles and all that stuff, everybody had a garage band, in the neighborhood. I grew up in a black neighborhood. Well, I actually was on the edge of the white neighborhood, and a black kid. So I went to the all-white schools because in 1960, our parents won the right for us all to go into the all-white schools to get a better education.
Sure.
And so at that time, it was tough, but tough things are what make you. So, but even with all of that, they hired us because we were a really good band.
Gotcha.
And so, I became the band of that area. And as it went along, I actually, when I was probably in my early, it was 18, 19, I had a live jazz band that we put together. And you probably heard of Oliver Nelson, right? The saxophonist.
Yes.
He was the background music for $6 Million Man of Rockford.
Okay.
His son, when he died, his son took over. His son was going to take over his business out here in Hollywood, mostly. But he was playing with my band, and so I played with Oliver Nelson Jr. for quite a few years, and then the band, because I got involved in the church, the band broke up, but I was playing with Oliver Nelson. He's still a good friend of mine out. He lives in Indiana, and he's a school teacher now. So we had a really, really good jazz band.
Wow. And I think, speaking of Motown, the first record, the first 45 I ever bought was Shop Around by Smokey Robinson and the Miracles.
Oh, you're right.
And
I recently, a few years ago, met Michael Jackson's promoter, legendary promoter, which was Leonard Rowe. And he became a friend of mine in Atlanta. I lived in Atlanta for quite some time.
Wow. So I think you kind of sound, or Lionel Richie kind of sounds like you. Does that make sense?
Oh, well, I sing a lot of Lionel Richie. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, his life, I don't know much about his life, but I do a lot of Lionel Richie songs now.
And he was in the Commodores and then went out on his own. So
absolutely. Love the Commodores.
Oh, yeah. And I guess when you're doing a live performance, and especially in places that might be restaurant, how do you kind of get over the crowd noise factor where they're talking while you're singing and drinks?
Well, you really don't. The thing is that in restaurants, like right now, for instance, out in the desert, I'm singing at a Starbucks, believe it or not. Starbucks hired me to sing for them.
Oh.
And because they're trying to, because the street fair out there gets a lot of business on Thursdays,
Yep.
And so on the Thursdays that I'm not singing for the street fair, Starbucks said, I walked in and I asked them, because I seen somebody doing karaoke, and I thought, you guys hire loud music. I went in, they said, yeah, I guess we can. And so, long story short, they hired me. So on the Thursdays that I'm not singing, there in the street fair, I'm singing at a Starbucks. Now it's loud. You'll hear some of the, on my Instagram. You'll hear some of the, which is KC Sings 23. You'll hear some of those recordings on there. So, and it is loud, but turn up a little bit. And some restaurants don't want you to turn up, so it's tough.
Right.
To get over the sound. And actually, in the street fair, it's much better because I can turn up louder because I'm in open air.
Correct.
And believe it or not, the recordings come out really good on the street fair. It's unbelievable, actually.
Wow. A couple more questions here. I have to wrap it up. The kids are coming over to visit,
Sure.
But a couple more questions. Do you have any hidden talents that you don't display to too many people?
Oh, well, hidden talents. Talents. I can't. I love the golf, but I love the fish. Those are not talents. I can't do that. And I'm terrible at the golfing, but I love it. But other talents. I guess music is my real talent. I mean, I sing. I can play keyboard, but I haven't played a lot. I can write music, but I haven't written a lot. Because I'm busy.
Right.
I don't think much about other talent. If people say I'm very talented, I have a lot of talent. One of my gifts, if you would, is helping people. I just have a gift for talking and helping people and helping them solve problems. And of course, in business, one of my talents in business is helping people turn around companies.
Right.
I mean, I've done that for a long time. I'm very good at startups, that sort of thing, turning around companies, solving problems, that sort of thing.
Gotcha. Couple more here, Kevin Christopher talking to us. Singer now is sort of his his side gig as he eases into retirement. Have you ever asked anybody for their autograph?
I have not. I didn't get a chance to go to concerts. My life was very busy. I had children very early. Only concert I went to is like Sly Stone. You couldn't get anywhere near him, because it was
Right.
a huge crowd.
Yeah.
I had a very cool afro, by the way. I had a giant afro. And George Benson.
George.
And George Benson, you couldn't get near him. And for that concert, I just sat there and cried the whole time because he was so good. He just sat on the edge of the stage, and with a guitar, curtains closed, and just jammed incredibly. I loved it. I literally was in tears the whole time.
Whoa.
Amazed at his talent.
Yep.
Yeah.
I got you.
And I do a lot of his songs now. Yeah.
Okay. Kevin Christopher, what is your favorite sandwich?
My favorite sandwich is one my wife won't let me eat, and that's a ham and cheese sandwich.
Ham and cheese?
Ham and cheese and bacon, baby. Yeah.
What's
because
wrong?
Ham and bacon is no good for you. But I love those, but she won't.
It's perfect. That's great.
I know.
Okay. Kevin Christopher, it's been a blast. Give us that Instagram thing a couple more times, please.
It is K as in kitten, C as in cat, KC Sings 23. And I promise you there's a lot of my music on there, and most people really, really enjoy it. And I'll be constantly posting more stuff.
All right, it's KC Sings 23. That's at his Instagram. You now know all about
correct.
Kevin Christopher, including his favorite sandwich. Kevin, again, thank you very much.
Thank you so much for the interview.
Thank you for visiting with us today. This is Talking Books and Stuff with Dennis Rimmer. Contact him at dennis@talkingbooks.tk. Thank you, and may all the good news be yours. Oh, and don't forget to check out his book, The Great Canadian Notebook, available across Canada and at amazon.ca.